Hey everybody, we're excited to do the puppy pick video with you, and we've got all the pups here with me. We'll see if I start talking, they're gonna come hang out by us. So maybe you can see them down there. And so we've got Willow's pups, we've got Violet's pups, we've got some of our notes put together on them and some of our thoughts, and we want to give everybody an up close look at them so that you can be up to date with where everybody is on their growth and what their markings are looking like and some of their insights on their personalities that we've noticed. So we want to share all of that with you so you can make a choice based off of all the information as if you were here. So we'll get started on that next. Okay, so we've had the pups out playing, and for the most part they're getting pretty tuckered out. They play and play and play until they start to snuggle up and cuddle up together and lay down and start to go to sleep. So as I talk, I'll probably keep the remaining party animals alive, and the others are the ones that played a little bit harder are gonna fall asleep a little faster. So we will do our best to let them be content for a minute while we share a little bit more about them all. I'm gonna start with Violet's pups and go through them first. We've got Miss Teal here off to the side. I'll pick her up. Oh, I'm gonna do something real fast. So I wanted to do a quick personality overview to let you know what we're seeing personality wise, and then on the up close stuff, then I'll give you the markings and color details and things like that as we go through each one individually. So personality wise, we have a pretty narrow spectrum in the personalities. As far as breeding stuff goes, that's what we actually aim for, is a pretty narrow spectrum. We don't necessarily expect from our litters to see a wide range of super assertive, confident, like overly assertive, overly confident, and we don't necessarily expect to see like overly timid or shy or very kind of standoffish pups. So from a breeder's perspective, we like what we see when we see a narrow range of personalities. So when I share with you the differences in their personalities, understand that they're not that far apart. When I say this one's this side and this one's this side, the distance between those two are actually pretty close. And oftentimes as pups go home and we see remaining pups for a few more days and whatnot, as they kind of trickle out to the new families, we will see the dynamics of the litter change over time with that in mind. Because as some of them go home, like the more assertive ones go home, then we'll notice that the next ones kind of pick up where the others left off, and so the next pups will be more assertive and things like that. And so so we also want people to know that this isn't necessarily a crystal ball that we have for you, telling you and predicting exactly what their personalities are going to be, because as that pup, just like as that pup left here and left a gap in the hierarchy here that the other pups will fill, then that pup is going to go to your home and figure out the hierarchy in your home and start filling in the gaps there. So what we encourage people to do is know what their personalities are, not as a predictor of what they will be, but as a tool for you to perhaps understand more of how to create your future family member. Knowing a little bit about the direction that they're leaning, as far as where they are on the personality spectrum, knowing a little bit about which direction they're leaning, you might be able to tailor some of your approach with their obedience training, and the different techniques that you could try there. So that's why we share personality. It's not necessarily like a predictor of who they will be, but as a tool for you to help shape the puppy to become what you want them to be. Because really, these dogs are so smart, they are so intelligent, and their emotional connection to humans is so strong that you can really create the pup that you hope to. Understanding proper training techniques and things like that, you can implement those and try to do that. So I've got Willow's Purple over to my side here. She's getting a little bit whiny because she's looking for mama. We've got both Willow and Violet off to the side for a little bit while we're doing this, and Miss Purple is looking for mama. So, but we're going to start back with our markings. Oh, I didn't finish personalities. Sorry, I get distracted with markings. I'm always so excited to share with people the markings. Okay, personality, getting back to that. So what we have seen as a whole, personality-wise, with these pups, is that they're in a pretty narrow range. They've all taken turns dishing it out and taking it in as far as their rough play. They really have, and I've tried. I do all of the video stuff. I do all of the video stuff. And so we talk about it, you know, with the kids and any kind of observations that they've had. You know, if I've missed something and they've caught something, then we'll talk about it or something like that. But then we kind of put together some of our thoughts on them and whatnot. So personality-wise, we are seeing both pinks wanting to be the leader of their litters. And so we've got Willow's pink and Violet's pink, and both of those gals would love to be the leader of everybody if they could. So they're the ones that consistently initiate play, and they don't back off as readily as the others when the others initiate the play. And so they're kind of the queens of the castles in their respective litters, and so that kind of keeps it simple for us to keep track of who's who from there. So we've got Miss Pink and Miss Pink as kind of the leaders. They're a little bit more assertive, a little bit more confident, and whatnot. And so when it comes to like a training technique approach to take with them, we tell people run with it. These pups are going to want to be trained, and they're going to look for the challenges that you give them, and with the positive reinforcements and your bonding, these pups are just going to take off really fast. All of them will, but sometimes the ones that are less reserved look for some of the challenges and whatnot that way, and do really well that way. So they could do well in agility and dock diving and some of those competition type things, because they're just a little bit more confident and assertive with themselves. Mr. Red's chewing on Mr. Brown's ear, giving him a rough time, huh? Okay, so that's personality between the group. And so the next is we look for who's kind of the least assertive, and who's least initiating the rough play, and the ones that are first to kind of back off in some of those scenarios. And in Willow's litter, we've got Mr. Red. He is the boy that is wanting to back off the first in some of that play. And then we've got Miss Teal, who's right here still, of Violet's litter. And Okay, sorry for the break. My paper got bumped and dropped my notes, and so we're back here. So Miss Teal and Red, they are the ones who are the first to kind of back away when play is initiated. We have not seen them be like super reserved or super timid and just overly anxious about anything. And so that's where that kind of narrow gap comes into play, is they're not at the far side of the spectrum as far as a more submissive type personality. So they're pretty close from one side to the other side, and then all the other pups fit in the middle. So the middle of the road pups are just someplace in the middle, and honestly we can't even rank them. They're so close, they change from day to day who's who as far as all the pups that are kind of in the middle. But we consistently see the pups that are wanting to be leader we see them consistently want to be leader, and then the other pups who are a little bit more reserved, we see them be consistently a little bit more reserved. So okay, now we're gonna go to markings. I can finally get to markings here. So I'm gonna go get Miss Teal. Oh, she's coming back. Come on back, Miss Teal. Thank you. Good girl. You're gonna be a star of the show for a minute. So here we have Miss Teal, and she is just absolutely adorable. Out of all the pups, she's on the smaller end of the spectrum size-wise, but definitely not a runt-sized. She's just small compared to this particular litter, and these two sets of litters. These guys are all full-size pups, and so out of all these group, then Miss Teal is on the smaller side of the spectrum. At birth, she was 0.72 pounds, and right now she's 5.59 pounds. And I gotta move my paper here, and we're gonna show you her markings here in a second. So we are still seeing the very slightest hint of a marking on her neck. And so if she'll hold still for me for a second, and this is a little awkward for him, being a little bit unsupported for the camera. If you can see that, you've got better eyes than I can. But it's very, very small. Her marking on her neck is very, very small, and so she just wants to cuddle with me, huh? You like it close. You like to cuddle close, huh? She still has the hint of a marking on her back left toe. It is super, super slight. If you can see that in the camera, I'd be surprised, but there are a couple of light hairs. So she is just about almost a solid pup. And so that is Miss Teal. Next, we're gonna do Violet's Pink. She's sitting right here. So she's getting pretty tuckered out, and I'll see if she'll cooperate as I roll her over. Let me see if I can get a good face shot for you here. So here's Miss Pink. I think I got a good face shot for Miss Teal. Let me pull Miss Teal up real quick. These guys kind of represent a little bit of the spectrum size-wise. I know you're kind of grown a little bit. Miss Teal actually has a little bit of a puppy pimple on her right eye. You might see that in the camera. And so size-wise, Miss Pink here is 6.67 pounds, so a full pound bigger, and it's mostly in their overall build. She's just a little bit chunkier, and so that kind of represents a pretty good view of the spectrum of sizes of these girls here. But Miss Pink here, she's got a very slight marking on her neck. I'll tip her back. I can definitely see it. Oh, I'm gonna hold still for a second. I tell you what, doing a video with puppies is always tricky. So if I can, maybe I can support her on my lap a little better. So if you can see that, we've got this very slight marking on her neck and a very slight marking on her chest. There we go. I think that's a little better shot right there. But they're not very pronounced markings at all. So she's got something that we didn't notice at birth, but she does have a very slightly frosted back left toe. You might be able to see that her toenail is a little bit lighter than some of the others, which is consistent with marked toes, as the toenails are often a little bit lighter. So this back right toe, there's probably like 5 or 6 hairs that are frosted on it, but I'll be surprised if that's something that you notice later on. But that same back right toe is also marked with a little bit lighter color to it. So that is Miss Violet's pink. Next we're gonna go to Miss Violet's purple, and trying to figure out, here she is right here. We'll get them. Can you see this puppy pile? I'm gonna pause the video and get a shot of all these guys together. Maybe I'll wait a minute. Maybe I'll get them all together. I've got Willow's purple off to the side. We'll keep going with Violet's purple. Miss Pink was the 6.67 pounds. Miss Purple's coming in here at the lightweight of the group at 5.5 pounds, which is not an underweight size by any means, but lighter compared to all of her siblings. And I think I can get a pretty good face shot with her, and like to see that cute little mug that she's got. So Miss Purple here, she's got the I'm gonna scoop closer here again, see if I can do this right. She's got this marking on her neck. It's a little more pronounced than her other siblings' markings are. And then she's got this very light marking on her chest. And she's a little bit more mellow right now because you're tired, huh? You'll let me handle you a little better. We were hoping for that. We were planning on that, weren't we? So, so this is Miss Light Purple. She used to be darker purple, but we're going with the lighter purple because Miss Willow's pup has got the darker color to her. So she has her back left toe has just got a few light hairs marked on it, and it's very, very slight back left toe. So other than that, she's ready to go. Next we've got Mr. Brown. If I can pull him out of the group, sleeping here at my feet. We've got Mr. Brown here. He is 6.15 pounds. We'll see if I can get him with a nice face shot without bumping the camera. So 6.15 pounds, and if I lay him back, I'll try to bring him in without dropping you if you wiggle too much, So he's got his marked neck area right through here underneath the collar, and then he's got his really fun chest marking. It's a little bit longer. You're kind of seeing it upside down, I know. But that's the easiest way for me to hold you without bumping the camera. So he's got his back left and right toes that are heavily marked. So it'll be fun to watch this boy run. You'll see those highlighted toes as he runs with the wind. That'll stand out a little bit. And then his groin area is marked. He's got some lighter hairs down here as well. So that is Mr. Brown, and that finishes up all of Violet's pups. So next we'll move on to Willow's, and I need to get my piece of paper out for them. So let me pause here and we'll get started back in a second. Okay, I've got Willow's Miss Purple here, and I apologize, we've got some of our big dogs out playing and they're kind of singing the blues right now. So we've got one of our gals in heat, and that gets the boys started, and then the girls start into it, so they start barking a little bit here and there when Mother Nature gets things riled up a little bit that way. So Miss Purple, she's fallen right back to sleep in my arms. So this is Willow's Purple. She's 6.61 pounds. She's the smallest out of Willow's pups. Willow's pups, historically, it's very common for them to just be bigger overall in size. A little taller, a little heavier structure and whatnot. So I will turn her over and see if we can get her to show us her markings. So she's got this light marking on her chest right through here. You'll see, notice that. And then her back left toe is heavily marked. You'll see her running with some socks, running like the wind. And then her back right toe is lightly marked as well. So that is Miss Purple. And then next we're gonna do Willow's Pink. We'll pull her out from the mix here. She's kind of underneath the pile of everybody. I'm gonna see if I can get Miss Purple to just snuggle in with all these pups. She was off to the side and sleeping because she was out looking for mama again. But we've got Miss Pink here, and she is 7.71 pounds. So she wins the heavy hitter award. I don't know if you can tell in the shots, but she's a little bigger, huh? Big and beautiful. So this is Miss Willow's Pink. She has her lightly marked chest area and lightly marked neck. They're not super pronounced, but we're thinking those will stay as she gets her adult coat. And then her back left toe, she's got some markings on her back left toe, and her back right toe has lighter markings, just a little frosted few hairs there. So that's Miss Pink. And next we'll go to Mr. Red. So Mr. Red here, he's 7.4 pounds. And we'll see if we can get a good face shot for him. So he's 7.4 pounds, and we'll roll him back and let you see this. The hint of a marking on his neck, I'm not really seeing that right now. Their coat at this age starts to get really thin on their stomach and underside of their neck and things like that. So, but we're not seeing that hint of a marking right now. We're not seeing a marking on his chest either. So he's just about a solid pup. He does have kind of this back left toe that's frosted, just barely a few hairs on this toe on his back left. And then his groin area, he has a few light hairs on his groin area. So that is Mr. Red at 7.4 pounds. And next we'll pull out Mr. Blue. And we actually ran out of the chevron ribbon colors. This is the last of the chevron ribbon color. So we tied it to another blue ribbon. And so this is Mr. Blue. So Hobby Lobby was out of chevron ribbons, but we'll track down some more, see if we can do that here this week. So he's also the same size as Mr. Red, 7.4 pounds. And so Basically an identical size and then slightly different markings. Well, actually pretty different markings. He's got more of the marking on his neck than his siblings, and then he's got these really fun sections of marking on his chest. He's got this down here and this more pronounced section through here, and then a little bit lighter on this side. So he's got several areas. It's almost like he's sporting some awards or something on his chest, huh? So he's got his heavily marked back left toes and lightly marked back right toes, and then his front toes are lightly frosted on this one, and then he's got a couple of slightly frosted toes on this one. So that is Mr. Blue. And now that we've got them all played out, tuckered out, we will show you them all side by side so you can see their coloring differences. This is probably the best way to do that. So I'll just move the camera down here and hope this works. We've got over here, we got Miss Violet's pink right here, and then Miss Violet's brown. These guys are so close in overall color. It's very slight differences. I don't know if you can see that. Overall, their back is generally darker overall, and then as it comes down their sides, that's normal for that to get a little bit lighter. Overall, I would say Violet's pups trend a little bit darker. With this litter, that's true, and historically in the past that has been true. And then Willow's pups historically trend a little bit lighter, and the pups that Cliff produces are also generally a little bit lighter. So so Cliff and Willow's pups are going to have that little bit lighter color. And so we've got Violet's brown, we got Willow's Willow's pink. I do know my colors. Willow's pink. We got Miss Willow's purple right here. Willow's blue. Willow's red, and then underneath this pile here is Miss Teal. Red's using her for a pillow, so we got Miss Teal down in here, and then we've got Violet's purple over on this side. So this is, I think, the best view. Sorry, I got this little clip in the way. I think this might be my best view of getting them all together simultaneously, holding still. Imagine that, holding still, and you can see their colors. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know if you have any other questions.